Alrighty, and here's a video review for the Hasbro, the American version, or I guess not really an American version, it's out all over the place, but the Hasbro version release of Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Now, I'm not really going to do a whole transformation. This is mostly going to compare it with MP-10, the Japanese version, just to give you an idea of what differences there are, because it comes with all the stuff. As you can see, it comes with the trailer. And the trailer, from what I can tell, at least on the outside, is it's completely identical to the MP-10 version. I haven't noticed any differences on the exterior. And interior-wise, the only difference is the little drone robot and the little command centers that are in blue plastic are in there are the lighter blue plastic of the Hasbro version versus this darker blue plastic of the Japanese version, and we'll go over that. I'll show some of that difference in the shade of blue off when we get a little bit in. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. You get Spike. You do get the gun that folds up in here. The only other difference is it includes all the parts. You do get Roller, and the only difference is here is, let me get this open here. Come on. Come on, trailer, open. Roller, instead of being silver, is now blue. So you get a blue Roller, and he still does all the little transformation gimmicks here. You can still pop the gun in. It does work. If I can get that, there we go. You can still flip that open, put the gun in, flip it open, flip this over, and all that good stuff. So, all the features of the Japanese Roller are there. He's just been painted an appropriate blue, if you remember the blue. If that's your nostalgic, I remember the American Prime came with blue Roller, and that's what many of us remember. So, there you go. But other than that, like I said, the differences are really in the robot itself. And you can see, here's the Hasbro version, and here is the Takara version. Put them here like this. And you can see there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. Same pieces are chromed. The paint apps are identical. Actually, I take it back. On the Masterpiece version, there is some red up here to make this corner match a little better. You can kind of see where the red's painted over the silver here. Whereas on the American version, that's just silver. And again, the silver on the Japanese version comes and outlines that behind the wheel well, whereas the American version doesn't. However, the American version does have the yellow lights up here painted, unlike the Japanese version. And there's some more impressive paint apps in robot mode that I feel enhance the American version as well. But same silver stripe. You will notice that when you put them side by side, you can really tell that the red is slightly different shade. It's a little darker, a little bit more muted on the Takara version. But the reds they're different. But they're not horribly different. The red over here is a little brighter. The blues, however, as you can see here on the Hasbro version, the blue is much brighter than the Takara version. And the reason for that is the Takara version color matches the original G1 toy, more or less. I don't know if it's exactly the same color, but the original G1 toy was a darker red with the darker blue legs and back of the truck. Whereas the Hasbro version, the colors are much more matched to the actual animation version of Prime, which personally, to me, I like a lot. It's a little brighter. I think overall in robot mode, the Takara version looks a little bit more like a classic masterpiece, like a high-end collector's item. This one looks a little bit more like a cartoon-based toy, but they're both awesome. And like I said, the MP-10 I think edges it out a little bit for me in the long run. And we'll get to why when we get to robot mode. So give me a sec. We'll flop these guys up into robot mode, and we'll do some comparisons with them where I think the differences are really a lot more apparent. And here we are in robot mode. And here you can see a lot of the differences are a lot more apparent. You can see just how much brighter the red and blues here on, just look at the fists and the heads are on these two versions of Prime. Also, like this Prime's abdomen, this isn't just a shadow. These pieces are a little darker than the upper body, whereas these are more consistently matched over here on the US Prime. One of the other things to note is why they do both have these yellow details here on the arm. The Takara version has them in kind of a very like a shiny, reflective, like golden yellow, whereas these are actually slightly metallic as well, but they're not quite as they're more a brighter yellow than the ones on the Takara version. But like I said, the blue really pops, and one of the biggest differences here that I think really sells me on the American version of the figure over the Takara version is the eyes on the American version of Prime. Because if you see, here's the Takara version, the face, and while he does have eyes, let's see if we can tilt that up a little bit to get, they're dark. And if you pull this out, because I have replaced this piece to see what it would look like, the plastic in there is actually like a blue plastic. It almost looks like it should be light piped. It's actually a fairly bright blue plastic. It's just because it has no opening for the light piping, it just looks dark and dead. Whereas on the Hasbro version, they actually painted his eyes blue, and just that small difference, amazingly, just to me at least, makes this Prime seem so much more alive and just really pops. I mean, like, I really like those paint apps on the eyes. It adds so much more to the figure that I just didn't realize was missing until I got it. I'm considering painting the eyes on this MP-10 if I don't just end up selling the Takara version. And I may just hang on to it. I may just throw it in storage or something. But all in all, like, I really like the American version over here better. Because this guy is nice. He looks like a masterpiece. The colors match the original G1 toy, so there is a paint scheme. You know, like, there's a reason why they colored this one the way they did. I get it. And it looks really nice. It's a beautiful looking figure on your shelf. Ultimately, what it comes down to, though, for me, is this Prime, you know, like, again, he looks a little bit more, I guess, toyetic is one of the words that people have come up with lately. He does look a little bit more toyish, but he still looks like an awesome Prime. And this looks like the Prime walked right out of the cartoon from my childhood. And while I have seen other cartoons, I've seen some Transformers cartoons that I think I might even like better than Generation 1. Overall, just general quality-wise, that cartoon was a huge part of my childhood. So, and this Prime here, like I said, it looks like he walked straight out of the cartoon, and it looks really awesome. And you've got this highly detailed, very quality figure here that really kind of hits all the nostalgia buttons in my brain. So, if you don't have an MP-10, try to find this Hasbro version. If you've already got the Japanese version, I don't know, or the Takara version, I don't know if you really need to hunt down the American version. I think if you take, because I have swapped, like I said, I swapped out the eyepieces just to see what it would look like. If you're willing to pop the head open, there's a couple screws on the back, and just paint those eyes on the Takara version, I think you're going to be just as happy with it. They're both outstanding figures because they are essentially the same figure. There's no plastic quality difference in these. The only difference between these two figures that I have found is the coloration. So if you already have the Takara version, I don't think you feel the need to obsessively hunt down an American version. If you don't have one, by all means, this guy wins hardcore. He's, like I said, the eyes add so much to it. I love the look of it. It looks like it walked out of the cartoon. You're getting all of the same pieces that you're getting with the Takara version. You get every single thing. You get Spike, you get the axe, you get the trailer, you get Roller, and you're getting it for, even if you go to Toys R Us and they've raised the price at your Toys R Us to $119, you're still getting it for like $130 less than the Japanese version cost. There's no reason not to get the American version if you don't already have MP Prime. There are plenty of reasons to get the American version if you already have MP-10. I just don't know if I don't think you need to. They're both very solid, but personally, I totally prefer the American version of Masterpiece Prime. So there it is. There's a little. Oh, if you just want to see both of them compared with Starscream here, here's the MP Starscream. I don't have Thundercracker. Oh, he's trying to knock off Optimus as well. And again, I think he looks good with either one. I think he does fit a little bit more of the cartoony color scheme. He is like the lighter gray that matches the American version of Prime, and his blue is a closer blue to the American version of Prime, but he does fit in with either Optimus as a masterpiece. So you don't have to worry about displaying it there. But, yeah, just a quick comparison between those two. But really, I think the winner in the MP-10 versus Hasbro Masterpiece Optimus is the Hasbro Masterpiece Optimus.